Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Chief Drummond. I want to thank Mayor Bibb, Public Safety Director Howard, Prosecutor O'Malley. We're also going to hear today from Major Hendricks, the Ohio State Highway Patrol. Starting when I was a very young county prosecuting attorney, I learned that the best way for me to understand what was going on, particularly in the area of the crime problem, was to go out and to meet with the men and women who deal with this every single day. So we just concluded a meeting, a very good, frank discussion about exactly what is going on in Cleveland. I also had the opportunity today to go up with the Ohio State Highway Patrol in the helicopter. We were up for about 40 minutes and just watched what they do, watched what the patrol on the ground was doing and what the Cleveland PD on the ground was doing. 40 minutes up, they had a productive time. Ended up with 4 arrests and 4 guns seized just in that brief 40-minute period of time. This is, as the chief has said, is really, I think, about cooperation and working together. As I said, I came here to meet with men and women who are directly involved in dealing with this problem. I also brought with me our Safety Director, Andy Wilson, the Ohio State Department of Public Safety, Director Annette Chambers-Smith of the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, Director Amy Ast of the Ohio Department of Youth Services, as well as Ohio State Highway Patrol Officer Major Hendricks, who oversees field operations in this area. Each one of these departments is involved in one way or the other in the surge that we have going on here in Cleveland. The state, along with the police department, along with our other agencies, started this surge yesterday. We know that most violent crime is committed by repeat offenders. These are people who are not legally allowed to possess a firearm, yet they do anyway. All too often, innocent victims are hurt. And I listened to the chief and Prosecutor O'Malley talk a moment ago about young children who recently have been killed here in Cleveland. And frankly, it breaks your heart. Every parent has the right to be able to raise their children and to live in a neighborhood that is free of crime and free of violence. And so that really is what this is all about. It is an effort to allow these families to live and to raise their kids and to allow these communities to thrive. And no community can thrive, no community can do well when they're worried about violence, when they're worried about crime. Since the time I took office, my request to the State Highway Patrol, what I've told the State Highway Patrol to do is to work with local units of government. We have in this state over 900 law enforcement agencies. We are a local government state. We do not intend to tell the chief what to do or tell the mayor what to do, but we are here to help. And I think that is the proper role of the state of Ohio. When local law enforcement reaches out for assistance in fighting an increase in crime, one way we respond as a state is through a targeted, data-driven surge initiative. That surge initiative started here in Cleveland yesterday. It is not the first surge initiative that we have done in Cleveland, and I will guarantee you it will not be the last. What a surge initiative does is combine the work of state, federal, and local law enforcement agencies to send a concentrated influx of resources and personnel to known criminal hotspots. Look, we have to be smart about this. Cleveland Police Department has a very good system where they can pinpoint where the crime is and take it right down right down to the community level, to the street level. Taking advantage of that information and using that is an essential part of what we have to do. Here in Cleveland, 2 targeted crime reduction surge initiatives occurred last year, April and August, with very, very good results. At the request of the chief, we started another targeted surge initiative in reducing crime in the city yesterday. We will continue that. We will do it on days that we certainly will not announce what we are doing, but we are here to stay. This new initiative started yesterday and continues today in the 4th District, where the data shows that a great deal of the crime is happening. Additional surge events will take place in various parts of the city on unannounced days moving forward. During surge days, the Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers will increase traffic enforcement in and around criminal hotspots in the area. They'll work to support the Cleveland Police Department, the men and women of the police department who are out there fighting every single day. They will support them both on the street and from the air to help them identify and apprehend violent offenders and drug traffickers. Further, they will support local authorities with evidence processing and suspect interviews when that is needed. I want to put this in a little perspective. Again, we're a local government state. We have local police departments. But the state should be doing things that only the state can do. And to assist not only the Cleveland Police Department, but other law enforcement agencies throughout the state. And that has been the philosophy that I brought to this job. Since 2019, when I took office, we have done a number of different things. One, we stood up the state's Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center, the first one. We launched this in 2019. We have an office that is located right here in Cuyahoga County. What we do is offer forensic evidence analysis on devices such as seized cell phones. We also provide intelligence gathering support as well to the local police departments when they ask us to do that. Let me mention that ONIC, as we call it, the investigative support, is available free of charge to any law enforcement agency in the state of Ohio. The Narcotics Intelligence Center has offices now in not only Cleveland, but also Columbus, Toledo, and Cincinnati. Let me go back to the surge events for a moment. During these surge events, our Ohio Investigative Unit will work to target liquor establishments that are known for illegal sales and that are also hotspots, that we have found are hotspots for drug trafficking as well as prostitution. The Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, our prison system, our parole system, will make extra unannounced visits to adults and youth who've been released from incarceration and are under supervision here in Cleveland. They will also keep a close eye on these individuals. They always do that, but during this initiative, our teams are giving them, let's say, extra attention. The first day of the surge yesterday was when our team zeroed in on this 4th district. The operation went well. The data I have is incomplete. I'll tell you what I do have. Law enforcement made 57 traffic stops, 20 felony arrests, confiscated 4 illegally possessed firearms, located 4 stolen vehicles, seized heroin, cocaine, crack cocaine, and other drugs. Our team also gave treatment referrals to 9 individuals who clearly were in need of recovery support. In 4 cases yesterday, our aviation unit in the air prevented dangerous pursuits of fleeing suspects. Each time when a trooper attempted a traffic stop or when the PD attempted a traffic stop, the driver sped away. But instead of chasing them, our patrol helicopters tracked the drivers from the sky and directed troopers on the ground about where to find them and where to arrest them. Quite literally, they may run, but they cannot hide. Further, our Ohio Adult Parole Authority teams made contact with many individuals under the supervision. That led yesterday to 3 arrests and the recovery of several illegally possessed guns as well as gun parts. Our goal in this initiative is to complement the other work that is going on, the work of the men and women of the PD, as well as U.S. Marshal Pete Elliott and his great team of U.S. Marshals. They are engaged in Operation 216, and I'm sure Pete will talk more about that as well. Let me again maybe pull back for a moment and look at this from the big picture. During our administration, we have invested about $26.5 million in the safety of Cleveland. The funding comes from various sources. It includes the $250 million in ARPA funds we've been awarding to law enforcement agencies all over the state. We made a decision along with the state legislature to take $250 million of ARPA funds and to direct them directly to local law enforcement agencies. We have, particularly for the news media, 2 handouts that you'll get in a moment that detail some of the funding and other state support available to law enforcement here and statewide. Again, I want to thank the legislature for providing, at our request, that money. They have been our partners on that. Our funding program follows our philosophy that local law enforcement, local chiefs, local sheriffs, local mayors should be making the decisions for their communities about how this money gets spent. Some of Cleveland's funding, for example, went to technology for its real-time crime center. I've actually seen this center. I've looked at it. It is quite amazing. Other law enforcement agencies use funding to set up hotspot policing details or invest in technology used in solving crimes. Again, we've left that up to the local departments. Separately, the Ohio Department of Youth Services has also given out dollars to help with justice-involved youth. And we had the opportunity to have a good conversation with Prosecutor O'Malley, with the chief, and others about more that we might be able to do in regard to our juvenile offenders. As you know, one of the things that we're seeing, not just in Cleveland, but across the state of Ohio, is the age of our offenders continues to drop, where we are seeing young people, 12, 13 years of age, who are involved in very, very, very serious crimes. I won't go through the whole list, but again, Cleveland is well represented. Cuyahoga County is well represented in the state Senate and the state legislature, and I thank them. Many of them are here today, but whether they're here today or not, they have been helpful. We have done this on frankly a bipartisan basis and made sure this money is available to local law enforcement. Let me just conclude by saying this is a work in progress. We don't have all the answers. The men and women behind you do not have all the answers. But what we do pledge to the people in Cleveland and the people in the communities that have been hard hit by crime, we pledge that the state will stay involved. We will continue to do everything that we can. I know Pete Elliott, U.S. Marshal, will as well. And we will continue to work very, very closely with the mayor, the council, with the chief. Let me now turn it over to Mayor Bibb, who we appreciate always having the opportunity to work with him. Since he's taken office, we have met a few times, but we've been on the phone a number of times besides that. And I think that is what the people of Cleveland and Ohio expect both of us to do. And we're going to continue that very, very close cooperation. Mayor?